Hello, good morning and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United transfer news where we give you all that latest United news and give it that real fan opinion. And it wouldn't be a transfer window if we didn't mention Cristiano Ronaldo to Manchester United. But I tell you what, this is probably the best Ronaldo transfer show we've ever done. It's not all about Ronaldo because Jose Mourinho has actually spoken. It's not from the Sun, it's not speculation, it's not third hand. This is Jose Mourinho speaking about Ronaldo. We'll also be talking about Milinkovic-Savic, Anthony Martial and a couple of left field signings that could happen, I think. So we'll be talking about those. One from Monaco, one from Sevilla. Remember Jose Mourinho? There are 5 players for Sevilla who get in my team. You've got to remember that, and that was meant to be Mourinho. But anyway, let's talk Cristiano Ronaldo. Look, Ronaldo's age, whether he's 50, 33 or whatever he is a physical beast, and I think he's going to be playing at the top level for 3 years. But even if he could only give us a year, I would take him. I'm a romantic, especially when it comes to football. I'm a romantic. I would take Ronaldo back, made in Manchester. Absolute legend, would love him to come back to Manchester United. But of course, I don't think it's going to happen. Like many of you, you're shouting at the screen, Mark, I've woken up, I've not had any coffee, you're talking nonsense. Well, I'm not talking total nonsense because Jose Mourinho, and this is the interview that keeps giving, Record, Portuguese newspaper, well, Mourinho's gone on record, he's given loads away, some will be talking on the preview later, but talking about Ronaldo, it was asked about Ronaldo to Manchester United, and he said, look, it's all about Real Madrid won't let him go. And at some point, Real Madrid might let him go to retire in America or something like that. But Real Madrid aren't going to let him go. But in relation to Ronaldo, there are some... He's from Manchester. He's loved in Manchester. And there are some players that if it was a possibility, the club wouldn't say no. And Ronaldo is one of those players. So effectively, if Ronaldo wanted to come back to Manchester United and Real Madrid would let it happen, United would sign him. And we've never really had that before, and that's from the manager from Manchester United. So it's good to know that, and it's good for Mourinho to say that, because some people say, oh, they don't get on, or United wouldn't want to go back. And I think if Ronaldo became available, Manchester United would go for him. But as Mourinho said, Real Madrid can't lose him. They can't lose him. He's still the best player in the world. And Ronaldo might want better wages, and maybe it's just a little bit of a nudge to Ronaldo that the option, the door is always there, and we would take you back. But I don't think Ronaldo's got an appetite to come back to Manchester at the moment, and Real Madrid, no chance. So it's not going to happen. I think that's probably going to be the last time we'll do it over the summer, but it was nice to do it based on the fact that it's come from a manager's mouth and not from the back page of the Sun or something like that. Anyway, we move on to more pressing matters. Milinkovic-Savic has come out and spoken about his transfer and said that now is not the time to be talking about transfers. I've got a big weekend. It's the last weekend of the Serie A. Lazio have got a chance. Well, they're currently in the Champions League positions. They need to retain that by getting a result on Sunday. And after that is when it's a time to assess his future. So Milinkovic-Savic not having any of it, and quite rightly, he has got a big game on Sunday. Once that's out of the way, it will be part of the World Cup, but there might be a little bit of a gap in there in relation to him. Of course, obviously, as we spoke about yesterday, PSG now entering the fray for Milinkovic-Savic, and to all those people shouting at the screen again, financial fair play, Mark, they're going to get in trouble. They'll probably get reduction of their Champions League squad down to 20 players and a slap on the wrist. So I don't think it would stop them going in for people like Milinkovic-Savic. But so I think there'll be other big clubs after him anyway, whether it's PSG. If United want him, there'll be other big clubs in for him anyway. I think he's going to be the midfielder, the big midfield signing of the summer. And can United pull that off like they did with Pogba 2 years ago? Because he's had a fantastic season and he's young and he's still got potential and he's big. I think a lot of people will be after him, and it'll be interesting to see if United can pull that off. And if we do, fair play to Mourinho and Ed Woodward, because it would be fantastic. Before I talk about Anthony Martial, I just want to bring in a couple of players as well. Sidibe from Monaco, he is going to the French World Cup squad, sorry Anthony, and plays right back for Monaco. 25, I think he is, maybe 26 now. I did write it down somewhere. 25 he is, Sidibe. He's another right back like the one we were talking about from Napoli the other day. If he was a FIFA player, it'd be around 75 to 80 and everything. He's quite quick. He's quite capable at passing. But I don't. That's not what I want at right back for Manchester United. We've got Valencia. He's still going to be first choice. I really think the future of our right back's got to be next season. Give Fosu Mensah a chance. If that doesn't work, Valencia will retire at the end of next season or be finished as a first teamer anyway. Fosu Mensah's good enough, he plays. If he's not good enough, you go out next summer and you buy a top class right back. I don't see the point in bringing in someone like Sidibe who's not going to play. He's going to be a utility right back. He's never going to get the games to get a rhythm in a new league. And he's young enough that when Valencia goes, we're going to ask him to do a job that he's not learned. It's a bit like the Darmian situation. So I don't want that to happen. I'd like Fosu Mensah to be given the run. And if it doesn't work, buy a proper top-class right-back next summer. But this summer, I don't think we need to do it. That's my theory. Don't know what yours is. And I'm not going to get his name right. Pablo Sarabia from... I probably got that right, actually. That came out very well. From Sevilla. He's 26 years of age. This is a player that actually had his debut with Real Madrid in 2010 when he was 18 under Jose Mourinho. Now, before people start saying, I thought he didn't play youth, Mark. I thought he didn't... You're saying a lot at me this morning. Before you start saying that, it was one of those youth players that Mourinho played in a meaningless game a couple of times. It wasn't consistent development, and he did end up leaving Real Madrid anyway under Mourinho's tenure. So he's 26 now, fast, skillful. Reminds me a little bit of a sort of a BTEC Isco, that sort of player. And as I said before, Mourinho, after the Sevilla debacle, did come out and say, "You tell me Sevilla players don't get in my team?" He quite categorically said that some Sevilla players would get in his team, and maybe politically he will go and sign a Sevilla player to sort of cover up the fact that we got schooled by them twice and they're not a very good team. So maybe he's going to sign a Sevilla player to say, "Look, I told you they were good." Rubbish accents, don't do them again. But there's just something about that signing that I don't like. It was reported that he'd be a sort of, if Martial goes, we'd bring Sarabia in. No, if Martial goes, you better go and get Dybala or Bale or somebody actually world class, because that's where we sort of pitch Martial's potential at. I don't think a Sevilla Real Madrid ex-Real Madrid mid-20s player is sufficient, to be honest. That's what I feel about that. However, he does have a £15.5 million reported release clause, so that could be a big attraction for Manchester United in relation to him as well. But not for me, really. Not as inspiring as it needs to be if we are going to drop that bombshell of selling Martial, who would just want to bring in now to say that I think we're stepping into dangerous territory with the Martial thing now. And I don't know what you think, because I look around social media and look at the comments, and there's people going in on each other, and some people are like, it's not Jose's fault what's happened to Martial, he's lazy, get rid of him. And then you've got some people saying it's Mourinho's fault what's happened to Martial, it's a disgrace. I just think, whatever you think about that, you're probably right on both sides, but the reality is, I heard somebody saying last night, well, Martial's not part of the French squad because he played rubbish in a friendly back in March. But Martial hasn't really been playing for Manchester United since January. So he goes and plays in a friendly for France, totally rusty, totally lacking confidence, and fails the audition. I still stand by, if Martial had stayed in the team from January, playing the way he was, he'd have breezed through that friendly because he'd have been on fire, he would have been confident. But it's irrelevant. That's not really... He's not part of the French squad, and I'm not French. As I said last night, the French national team is a Ferrari being driven by Stevie Wonder. And Deschamps is Stevie Wonder. He's blind. He's a rubbish coach, and they won't win the World Cup. And I've said that, but that's their problem. I'm not French, and if you are French, it's your problem. But what is my problem is Manchester United, Martial, and Mourinho. And the reality is, this situation is probably going to play out with Martial leaving. And if that happens, we don't need to be twisted or manipulated into hating a player that we loved on his debut for what he did against Liverpool and has given us some great moments. He could have been a Manchester United great player. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. But let's not be Arsenal fans and start sending him off with a kick up the arse saying he's lazy, this, that and the other. We don't need to do that. Can we not just be grown up about it? I mean, I don't agree with Mourinho letting him go if he does, but I back Mourinho and want him to stay. I don't want there to be a conflict because of it. Can we not just say it didn't work out and it's best for Martial to go, as it clearly is, and it's best for Mourinho if Martial goes because he clearly doesn't want to use him. And we don't like it as fans, but we accept it, and we don't need to be malicious to either side about it. And that's what I would like to see. And the reality is, it's a very simple sum, isn't it, really? it's a dangerous situation. You've got to look at what's best for Manchester United. If Martial goes and Manchester United win the title next year with Mourinho, it's best for Manchester United. If Martial goes and Manchester United fail next season and we lose Mourinho because he gets sacked, it's bad for Manchester United because we've lost that Martial player, and a year later we lose Mourinho and we're in a mess. So the proof will be, or Martial stays, Mourinho sorts it out with him, and we win the title, and everyone's a winner. So the proof will be in the pudding. Martial may well go, and we will find out whether that was a good or a bad decision. And those are the decisions that the manager Mourinho has to make, and they're on his shoulders, because if Martial goes and we fail and he gets the sacked, it'll be on him. And does he want that to be his legacy? So we'll just have to wait and see. But as fans, I don't think attacking the player or attacking the manager really helps. I think it's simple that Martial's not going to the World Cup because he got dropped in January for Sanchez. But for what's best for us, we'll just have to wait and see with what happens. Anyway, get comments in below. I've enjoyed that one today. I think it's great to be able to actually speak about Ronaldo categorically from the manager's mouth. So I thought that was good of Jose to speak about that. I think some of his other comments were a little bit off. We'll talk about that on the preview at 1 o'clock. But Savic, see what happens with him. What do you think about Sarabia or Sadibi? Some people quite like them. So get commented below. Remember to smash the like button and support Transfer Daily. And give us your thoughts on the Martial thing as well. That's what we're looking for. Thanks for watching. I look forward to looking at your comments throughout the day. Speak to you soon.